What's that?
You know that time, John?
7:29.
Oh, that's actually 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
So I'm about ready. Are you?
You're all ready?
Yeah, what's that?
Okay, well, we got a minute left. Anybody move? Sounds good.
Stand by. Just about there. There we go.
Awesome. Good morning. Good evening. Welcome to the Glens Falls County Council meeting. It's Tuesday, July 22nd, 7:30 p.m. Call this council meeting to order. And first up, we have the pledge led by Councilman Jim Clark.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing we do is we'll open up the public comment period. We now open the floor to public comment. Please come forward and state your name and address. And I'd like to remind everybody there's a 3-minute time frame for public comment. Ask whoever might come forward to address the council as a group and not single out any council person. And to remind us all that this is a public comment period, not a dialogue or conversation. So we will open up the meeting to public comment.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. James and I just work from very hard and professionals. I was here 2 weeks ago with storage.
So James, I'll let you come back in old business since you came last time. I'll bring it up. I've got information for you. We're going to send you back to the Water and Sewer Commission, but I can explain and I'll pass out information for you, okay?
Okay, sure.
If you don't mind?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you. Good evening.
Council. My name is John Peck. My wife Debbie and I live at 12 William Street, in Ward 2. I'm here tonight to request that the Common Council and Mayor Bill Collins take whatever action that is within your power to advocate, possibly by resolution, to help secure the release of Yuri, and I can't pronounce his last name, who was from ICE custody. He's a legal U.S. immigrant after being wrongfully detained on June 3rd of this year. Also, I would like to know what the Glens Falls Police Department's policy is in regard to protecting Glens Falls residents who are U.S. citizens and who have not committed a crime to be illegally detained by mass ICE agents. And since I still have time, finally I want to commend you all for your service to Glens Falls and for making this a great place to live. You know I told Diane. I heard on the radio the other day that out of 850 cities that were polled, best cities to live in the United States, Glens Falls was 7th.
Thank you.
That's pretty good. The two things, affordability and right down. So thank you all. And take that under advisement. I hope to hear back from somebody from your office, Mayor. Can you tell me now what the police department's policy is, or do I need to speak to the chief?
Well, I'll let you speak to the chief. I contacted when this all happened. I was in contact with Senator Schumer's office,
Right.
and Assemblywoman Carrie Warner's office.
Good.
We're all concerned about due process, and Yuri and every other citizen deserves due process. The city's policy is to work with all law enforcement agencies, so we work closely with both the county and the state police officers on a regular basis, have a great relationship with them. And our policy is to work with any law enforcement agency, but we have not been engaged with or interacted with or cooperated with ICE at all. And so those are our policies, but also, I think we gave you Chief's contact information. I'll let him, if you'd like more information regarding that, then I encourage you to talk to him. But
It's a very concerning issue, and even though I'm white and male, I'm concerned that anybody can get picked up.
Absolutely,
Thank you.
absolutely. Thank you. Not seeing anyone else for public comment. Committee reports. Councilman Clark.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Finance Committee met on 7/15. That's our first meeting, and we had a whole list of things to get through. We talked about warrant presentation, budget versus actual. We talked about financial benchmarks, our cash standing, our investments, and what we're doing with our cash. We talked a little bit about the budget schedule, paycheck conversion, our audit, and we're going to be talking about our liability schedule, our bonds, and future use of funds. Our next meeting is August 5th. That will be on the next conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Dunn.
The Sustainability Committee met yesterday, around 5 o'clock. We talked about a lot of solar projects.
It'll be a challenge, no matter what.
I know. Yeah, so we met, went over a lot of solar ideas and projects that are just starting to kick off. There may be some small financial commitment to hopefully see a couple projects come to fruition. And I think some of them might be worthwhile, but we're also awaiting this big, beautiful bill. It's kind of, going to put a hamper on a lot of these things. So we're kind of just cautiously moving forward. That's it.
Councilman Palmer.
The Building and Codes Committee will meet on August 26th at 6 p.m. Our original plan was to review our fees, which we'll still do. I don't know if you see the exchange we have today. So I just wanted to quickly bring it up because I might add this to the agenda. Just that there have been a few people who have gotten some warnings about the plants that are in the strip between the street and the sidewalk. And I had a lot of calls and complaints about it. And so I was trying to figure out what is the code we are citing. And the warnings talked about a visible fence. But then the department had to say that's not really what the issue is, it's something else. And it sounds like it's more of an internal policy that we're using to guide us. And I think that if we're going to be issuing warnings, it should be based on our actual code. So if the code needs to be adjusted, we should do that. And, so we're going to take that up at our next Building and Codes Committee meeting. And in general, if there's an issue with visibility or accessibility, it makes sense. If it's just planting that isn't getting in the way, it might not be necessary to do much about it. That's my opinion, but we'll see what the committee thinks. If anyone has any input on that, we're welcome to come to that meeting, 8/26 at 6 p.m.
I always have the plan.
Councilman Lapp.
Nothing over it's an old system. Replace it.
Under consent agenda, we have, let's see, 5 items. Anybody have any questions? Concerns about 5 items? If not, 5.1 is approval of the 7/8/2025 Common Council meeting minutes. 5.2 is approval of the Controller's Office manual check payment report. 5.3 is the approval of community development manual payments for $4,433 $3.61. 5.4 is the approval of the city's 2025 budgeted community support OpEx disbursements in the amount of $65,000. And 5.5 is the approval of the warrant. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Under the regular agenda items, we have 10 different resolutions from 5 different department heads. Anybody want to open up any discussion, and then I'll put them at the end?
I just had one real quick question about, and it's very hard for me to tell which encroachment permit goes to which one, but it's one particular one about, it was just about the timing of it. It's not really going to change my vote, I just had a question about the time.
Okay. And do you want to have me have the clerk contact you about that? Is that enough? Is that good enough?
Yep, that's good enough.
Yeah, but I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the problem is that we have the number on there because the number is in the supporting documentation.
Gotcha.
So,
It's hard to know which one
yeah.
is which.
I think, you know, you can kind of figure it out. It was just a date of something, it came in,
Number should be with the resolution, in the resolution in the packet.
well, I can see it in the,
Not in the agenda,
but
the
not-
resolution.
Yeah,
It should be notated in the resolution in the
okay.
packet, yeah.
yeah, but then I'm flipping through about 5 different encroachment permits to get to one. So this one, and it's just because it came in it came in, it's already active, although it came in.
Which way?
We can just move on, and I'll get back to you.
Yeah, just, yeah.
Which way? 737.
That's the problem that I'm having with it, is when I look at the actual
Doesn't have.
permit, it doesn't have the agenda number on it, then I have to flip back to another page, and it's just a little confusing.
Because Chip's putting them in order based on the agenda, and it doesn't necessarily have to do
Yeah.
with the way that it appears in your packet. So we definitely should get you some more, maybe correlate.
It's just a topic that I don't have any problem with it, but it just was requested, it seems, after the work had started.
It was,
Okay.
yeah, it was,
That was it.
they were already doing the work and building codes and
Gotcha.
found this, that's why, yep, they were just told just to come and get it.
That was it.
Yep, we're good.
Okay, so let's, under regular agenda, under the mayor's assistant, 6.1, approval to decrease A11210 personnel by $19,946.27 to support the GF bid in the seasonal downtown beautification program of flower plantings in the city. Decrease A11210 0-1000 personnel by $19,946.27, and increase A56410-4479 publicity by $19,946.27. Do we have a motion to approve?
So.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 7.1, discussion approval of mobile food license applications number 136-2025 through 138-2025 event in the city of Glens Falls. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Discussion approval, 7.2, approval of curb cut encroachment permits number 51-2025 through 52-2025 based on the approval of layouts with a favorable advisory opinion from the Glens Falls Planning Board on July 2nd, 2025, subject to curb cut being made of concrete while the work is being conducted. The applicant will remain in compliance with ProAg regulations. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Yes.
This next one, 7.3, it was put in as approval of curb cut encroachment renewals. There's encroachment renewal permits, the curb cuts, the only curb cuts were the one that was approved. So 7.3 is just renewals, it has nothing to
So permits number 46-2025 through 48-2025, 53-2025, based on approval layouts in compliance with PRO-AG regulations. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 7.4, approval of street opening encroachment permit, number 54-2025, based on the approved layouts in compliance with PRO-AG regulations. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 7.5, approval of temporary encroachment permits number 49-2025 through 50-2025, based on approval layouts in compliance with PRO-AG regulations. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. 8 is community development under authorize 8.1, authorize a grant application for Environmental Protection Act funding of $200,000 develop a plan for the Crockwell Preserve former Tennyson Swim Club to produce final designs and bid document for future rounds of grant applications, pay 50% of the total cost, and if the non-for-profit has been formed to work with the city on the project is not raised by 6 months after reviewing the award notification. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 9 is authorization to the city to submit an application for BOA pre-development activities, funding to complete pre-development activities to conduct necessary infrastructure analysis along the Broad Street corridor, including transportation connectivity analysis necessary to support the continued revitalization of the Broad Street corridor, and that the applicant requests funds of up to $180,000, which represents no more than 90% of the $200,000 project total. The application agrees that it will fund the applicant's 10% share of the project up to $20,000. That the mayor is authorized to sign the relative documents regarding this, and the authorization takes effect immediately. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. 9.2, resolution authorizing the mayor to sign a utility energy service contract for energy savings facility improvements at the Cool and Cheering Arena with National Grid. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Should it be the civic
To be
center?
named later.
Maybe it's not called that now.
No, it's, right? Yeah,
Now,
the building once called the Cool and Cheering Arena with National Grid.
Formerly known as the civic
Do
center.
we have a motion?
so.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 10, legal department. Authorize the city of Glens Falls court to operate and conduct city court proceedings outside the limits of the city of Glens Falls during the reconstruction and remodeling of the 3rd floor courtroom and offices. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Mayor, I need to recuse myself from this one.
Great. One recusal. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all. One recusal. 3. So I can vote?
No, it's not.
So it needs to be tabled,
Tabled.
it should be tabled.
So I'm no longer in the 4th Judicial District, which Glens Falls encompasses. I'm now in the 3rd District. I'm a court employed by the.
So you could, if you wanted to recuse
I've
yourself.
just, I've stayed away from this whole project since the beginning, and I don't want to. It's not, is it going to impact the time frame
Yeah,
of
they
this?
wanted to start, I thought, August.
I don't know.
So you don't work in this area at all?
I work in the state's broken up in judicial districts. I'm in a different one, which is the capital region now. And I just, I mean, I'm not part of the district, so I don't have
You don't
I'm
have
not
a
benefiting
financial
from, I'm not
beneficiary.
benefiting from
Right.
anymore, you know what I'm saying? So,
Are you willing to go?
yeah,
Thank you.
I don't want to hold this project, it's been, I can't tell you how many judges have wanted this previous.
It's also not really relevant to the state use of Western.
Well,
For, you know, like maybe being.
no, but it just.
Yeah, I know.
We like to-
I get it very,
Well,
I
and
understand
this
it's
is
an
essentially
issue,
financial.
you do not gain any
Yeah.
financial benefits or have any conflict of interest relative to both.
And also, it's not financially related at all, it's just giving them permission
Permission to
to.
operate
Outside
outside
the city.
of Warren County,
Right.
the court proceedings.
Good.
I understand.
We have, we
I
have,
signed those forms.
I just,
we have a motion,
Yeah.
we have a second,
Second.
all in favor?
uh,
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. So, under old business, so, and I'm gonna butcher your name, sir, I'm sorry.
John.
James? Oh. And Agnes. Am I saying that right? Sorry, sorry, I apologize. So, let me, James, give you some documents. Sorry. Let me give you a sec. This is other codes that refer and a letter from our superintendent. And then I'll explain to the council what this all is. Ben, please. Yeah, all together, it's one packet, and I'll pull this together.
Pass it.
One to Judy. So, let me review. James filled out an application and got a fee, came to the water and sewer, filled out an application, and was given a fee schedule. He then tried to find a contractor had built the property, was seeking to connect the water and sewer connections to it. Due to the unique depth and other utilities and the complexity, the contractors were charging him a very high fee, in which he's saying, I really can't afford this. Then he came back to the Water and Sewer Commission and quoted the code that said the city shall connect and charge a fee. And this was at a city workshop that he came and saw. The Sewer Commission has a past practice for much more than 4 years, which is the time that our current water and sewer superintendent has been here, that all contractors that have, anybody who's added housing, regardless of who it has been in the past 4 years, all owners who come to the city to tap water or sewer fees have been asked to go ahead and get a contractor to do the work, and then we notify, as the application says, please notify us, and then we come and inspect that connection. So we also asked him to do the same, to go back and find a contractor and give us notice of the inspection. We understood that the cost is very high, and he mentioned that he called several contractors, many not willing to call back, and we even had one contractor, this water and sewer superintendent, had a contractor calling us and saying, is there other problems with this property and we said, no, there are no other problems. But again, I think that contractor came back to James and said, this is the price, and it was $20,000 or more, right? $21,000. So he's come to the council now citing that same code that does say, and you have a copy of it, that in one location in the code it says that the city shall connect this, and then in another place in the code it says that the owner shall cover all costs that are associated with this. The owner, we you are welcome to come back to the water and sewer superintendent. Also in our code, so under your, so in the code it says that the owner shall cover, it's like many places in our code, there's a conflict. In one part of the code, the first part of this is the water and sewer code. I printed off several examples of the code that talk about this. And in the first one, it says the owner or the agent shall, special form approved by the board, the permit shall be supplemented any plans and specifications requested by the superintendent of the board. The next one down tells how it would go about it. And 177-25 says all costs and expense incident to the installation and connection of the building and sewer shall be borne by the owner. Then the last one is the city shall make the connection point inside the curb, and this will include excavating, laying sewer, lateral backfilling, and paving. And then a fee will be charged for residential and commercial and adjusted to the fee schedule. If you go to the next, to the fee schedule, there's 9 pages there, but I've highlighted on page, I think it's the 4th page, it says that the city may provide these services in accordance with the schedule rate if it has the resources to perform the work. And otherwise, the customer shall pay the permitting and inspection fees and shall have the work performed by a contractor. This has been the practice since Bill Norton has been in office. If you keep going back now down to the tapping fees, 2 more pages in, you'll see it says water tapping fees. And I've highlighted section 5, which says complex installations where determined by the superintendent, normal fees do not cover the cost of the installation, will be charged on a cost-plus basis of labor, administration, and expenses, plus 15%. The city currently does not have this particular tapping situation, which is one of the reasons why the cost to the owner is so high, is because of the depth of the property. The depth of the connection is quite deep because of where it's right near where our pump station is. So the depth is quite deep. The city doesn't really have the equipment. So if he wishes, we will hire an outside contractor, have it installed, and then charge him the cost of the labor and the administration plus 15%. So we would prefer that you just go to that contractor and pay for it directly. But there is a point in here where it says we shall. And then it says where there is an additional cost, we shall charge you that plus 15%. The same exists in the very next page under the sewer tapping fees, just so you can see it all there. Complex installations, which in depth and is what we're talking about here, determined by the superintendent. Normal fees would not cover the cost of the thing, would be charged on a cost plus basis of labor and administration, plus 15%. So we haven't done any of the tapping in over 4 years. He is correct that there is a contradiction in our code. In one place it says the owner will cover all the costs, and in another place it says that the city shall cover these and charge the fees. And under the fees it says that if it's complex, then we'll charge you the additional costs. So we'd rather not charge you what it would take to tap that and then charge you 15%. But we'll let you come back to the water and sewer and talk.
They haven't done, I talked to a couple of employees from the water sewer, and apparently they're on records of how deep the sewer is. The one gentleman told me the sewer's about 8 feet down in the street. That's not, that's normal. The water is probably 4 feet down on the other side of the street. The estimate I got from IBS, he was claiming he had to jackhammer through bedrock and shale to reach the water and sewer line. The asphalt, you've got the force main, you've got the sewer line, you've got the gas line, you've got water line. The whole street is sinking. It's been dug up numerous times, all the infrastructure's in there, and it's been backfilled with sand. So there is no bedrock or shale. We dug the foundation for the house, and we dug a trench all the way to the city line. And we didn't get any shale for a couple holes, that's about it. So I don't see how we can claim how it's a complex operation to put it in. I mean, there's
If it wasn't-
20 other houses on the street that have been connected by the city in the past. And my feeling is with the code, you know, it says they shall make the connection. What, you had full-time employees for the water sewer, if they would do any repairs, if there was a leak, they would do the repair. So I don't really see what much of a difference would be with that. I did find somebody else that could possibly do it, but they're licensed by the state of New York for water tap-ins, sewer tap-ins. I was told by the water and sewer that it has to be a licensed pump, and that wasn't sufficient. So that's where I'm at.
Fair enough. You can go back to the Water and Sewer Commission, and they can review your application and
The somebody's mind is made up already.
Yeah, we haven't tapped water and sewer. You mentioned that several properties have been tapped, none of them by our department for years and years. So we don't, and
Trying to find out information, I had somebody I worked with that his son was an inspector for a project, and he told me that, you know, I think it was last year, that the city actually came in for his project. It's an undeveloped property, and made it a little town, brought it to the curb line, but I'm still trying to find out an address or whatever for that. So,
Mayor Collins, is this from Bill Warren, which is not signed?
Yes.
He wrote it. Should we get an opinion from David?
no, because they are working on changing the suggested change to the code, which hasn't gotten, will be a while to go in effect. But the meeting that was a workshop meeting, so David wasn't there. So that's, and again, Water and Sewer Commission, you know, has said this is what their practice has been, and there's conflicting things within the code. Go ahead.
Not necessarily conflicting. It says that the city shall, but it doesn't say how. Then when you go to the permit and you go to the fee schedules, that's where it tells the applicant how that is accomplished. And if it's deemed a complex situation, the superintendent makes that call. So it says the city shall, but it doesn't say how we're going to do it. That's implemented through the rate and fee schedules that have been adopted by the Water Sewer Commission and the Common Council, and that's where you get more directive as to how it gets done. And that's the third-party contractor with additional fees being charged.
would be, they came up with a fee schedule, which to me would be, they determined that's what it would cost them to make the connection.
Well, but it says, again, it's the depth of this.
But we don't know how deep it is, because no one can give you that answer.
You know, they believe they know, and they're the ones who would make the determination.
When you submitted your permit, did you have plans? And didn't your plans specify the depth for the connection?
No, I had my plans for my property, had the sewer line out to the street. And as far as where it goes from there, that's on the city. You know, that's their infrastructure. I should not have to tap into government's infrastructure to make a connection. Because God forbid something goes wrong, then it's on me. You know, I can't tap into National Grid's electric grid on my own. That's something they do. So I feel it's something the city should do for their own infrastructure. You know, I shouldn't be paving your roads or making other connections. That's something I feel the city should do. And if you have conflicting codes, which I brought up at the sewer meeting, they told me I was the first one to ever challenge or question this practice. So in other words, they told everybody in the past, you have to hire a separate contractor. And everyone's like, oh, okay, we hired a contractor. So it wasn't like that was written in stone. It was just they told people that, they accepted it. But financially, I just can't do that. And that's why I'm challenging. And if you have conflicting codes,
I wouldn't say it's conflicting, and I don't like that word, because I think the code says the city shall, but it doesn't say how. And how is interpreted based upon the fee schedule and rates established by the Water Sewer Board and the Common Council. And those fee schedules very clearly state the cost for the tap, and if the superintendent determines it to be complex, how those costs are passed on to the consumer.
but we don't have a different definition of what's complex.
It's by a case-by-case basis of the superintendent, and if you disagree with that, you have the right to have the Water Sewer Commission Board review it. That's in the fee schedule as well.
All right, it's just, to me, there's just too many conflicts.
It's not a conflict, again, it says shall, but it doesn't say how. Then go to the permit application and the rate and fee schedule, and that tells you how to do it.
All right, and as far as me having someone else that's licensed by the state to do this, or the water tap,
You can go back and ask them what is required.
because no one in the water sewer department are licensed plumbers. We do this every day. They have a state certification for the water and for the sewer. So they're asking me to go above and beyond the qualifications they have themselves to do this. And it would not be 3 people that would need. There'll be a contractor that's like, there'll be a plumber to make the water connection, and someone certified sewer to make the sewer connection. Try to get 3 people all coordinated at the same time, same day, when we cut the road. You know, it's impossible.
Again, the fee schedule and the rate says work by outside contractors. Water and sewer connection work when performed by outside parties must be performed by a licensed plumber acceptable to the water and sewer superintendent.
Yeah. But what's a licensed plumber? Licensed by the state of New York or a?
So it's a great question to ask the Water and
Water
Sewer
Sewer
Commission.
Superintendent.
When's their next meeting? Or I guess it goes.
I can tell you when it's It's going to be August 4th at 2, and it'll be down on Shermantown Road,
Okay.
right at the water and sewer plant.
All right. And the other issue I had with Emily Hall, actually asked the engineer, he won't sign off on National Grid to put up a gas line until the water sewer itself. It has nothing, it's apples and oranges. It has nothing to do with the other.
So I have a little more information on that. I did speak with Jeremy about it. He spoke with National Grid, and from what I was told was that National Grid is kind of at a full stop right now until all the water and sewer is figured out on the National Grid side.
Okay.
That's what I was told,
Yeah,
so,
they sent me an email
yeah.
saying that the engineer's not signing off until the water sewer is resolved.
Yeah.
Now,
I'll get the engineer to come and I'll be at that meeting and we'll try to.
I'm just trying to move forward. We're at the point with gas water inspections, no problems at all. And I just want to progress, but I'm at a standstill right now. Until I have to borrow my neighbor's water to do the plumbing test, which we passed on the first shot, which is nice. And we're ready to sheetrock, but I can't even hook up the heating system until I know where the service is coming in the house. And I don't see why the one has something to do with the other. But I'll see all this with.
I'll see.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I have no other old business to you, Councilman.
I have-
Councilman Dunn?
No.
Councilman Vaughn?
Yes, I wanted to learn more about what the process for events like that. I stopped by the event that was there a couple weeks ago, towards the end. It was a busy day with like graduation parties and stuff, but I did get to stop by. I also got some emails from some businesses that had some concerns. And I found, as I was trying to respond to them, that I didn't actually know the answers. So I thought, and I'm not sure that, I mean, this is new. So I just thought maybe we could talk about it a little bit so I understood better. So if somebody wants to do an event at the Ed, what is the process?
We're developing up, so that event would be like, the Ed is considered like another, let's say the city park gazebo or the thing, so they can fill out an event application. They ask for 3 months' notice, it goes to Chip. There is a special contract for that with the fee, and we're working on the fee. We settled, I think, please don't hold me to this, I believe that the fee at that moment that we did, because these folks came to us and said, kind of have an event that we were hoping to have in Lake George and we were hoping to have it in West Mountain, would you approve this on the Saturday? So I think it's $500 for an evening. That number is being, we're working on it, right? We're working on what the fees are. And the contract that we used was a draft that we got from David Clean. So it says that you can rent it and that you have to return it in the same fashion that you're doing it, and that you have to provide insurance and stuff like that. So you can rent it almost identical
Similar
to the
the, yeah, pavilions at
pavilions.
City Parks.
That's right, yeah.
I think that's the process they were beginning to use.
Okay,
That's right.
so it's not completely done yet, the process, because I was thinking, I went trying to find, we have some of our stuff online, and I couldn't find anything, so I just thought if anybody wants to do an event, it would be nice if they could find all the information.
Absolutely.
But the feedback I got, I'll just tell you, because I think it would be helpful if you're in the process. So one thing was and I saw this too when I went there, so when you crossed the street to walk down South Street, there was a table set up with people selling the wristbands. It kind of looked like you couldn't walk past them without buying a wristband. And so the Golden Monkey, Greg from the Golden Monkey told me that several of his customers said that they were told they had to buy the wristband. When I got there, I walked up and the table was there and they told me how much the wristbands were. And I said, well, I just want to go to a couple of the businesses here. And they said, that's fine, but we asked that if you go into the street or the event center, you buy a wristband. So I went to the businesses and then I ended up coming back and buying a wristband because I wanted to check out the rest of it. But it was a little like, if I hadn't said that, it wouldn't have been very clear that I could have just walked to the Golden Monkey or Beamer's or the Bastard Restaurant. And I think that was one of the things that upset them. The other one was that, this is a little different than some of the other events, just because, the ed is one thing, but then there's the whole street we're closing and it has the frontage in front of the businesses. So the food trucks were parked right in front of the Golden Monkey, and completely obstructing them and also really loud and hot. So I sat at a table on the sidewalk out there and it was kind of like,
Blowing exhaust.
yeah, it's not a pleasant thing. So they felt that it negatively impacted their business, and their request was, if you are creating a process, maybe there should be a map of where the food trucks can go, and the food trucks could go on the side of the street where the ed is, not in front of the businesses. Another thing was that they felt like they weren't really notified very much about it. Larissa from the Golden Monkey had been at a ribbon cutting for the Realize, the real estate thing, and she was introduced to one of the event coordinators who was there, and that's how she learned about it, she said. And then I know Diane from Beamer's had called me and said, I heard that you guys suspended the open container law, is that true? So I just think, in the spirit of collaboration, let's tell them we suspended the open container law so they have an opportunity to make money on these events too, right? They could try to keep up with all the agendas and read, but let's just make it easy. So those were the main things. The table that kind of made it seem like you had to buy.
Get into the area.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And then the food trucks that were right in front of the business. And then just kind of more notification and collaboration. Those were the main points. So I just wanted to bring that up. And I know this is new and a work in progress, but hopefully,
We do have maps of, if people want to close down the streets, but it's a good point with the charging to get into that. And what we got to do is also look at how do we do taste of the North Country, because we used to, charge, it was only a couple of dollars, but it was a couple of dollars to get into the area. And how did that affect people and businesses? So it's a great concern. We need to think about that, because that is not intended. And I don't believe, we knew they were charging to get in, but I don't believe that I knew until I got there that morning that charge would be, we knew we were going to close down the street and open container. That all seemed to make sense, and that should benefit organizations like the Golden Monkey and Beavers, right? So, but agreed, and we definitely want to make sure, so when we leave half the road open, I think the perfect thing do is to make sure that that's the half that, so if we're gonna allow, food trucks and everything, to let it be on that far side, because I would be very upset if I was running a taco place and they were selling tacos also right in front in a food truck, so.
That is the other, I forgot to mention that, they said, please don't have competing food trucks with us, and there was a taco truck, and Taco Kings is right there.
And we should be able to write that into the contracts, and that, I think anybody would be fine, but we definitely need to do it. And that one was rushed to try our best. We didn't even have a good contract, right? It was the first draft of the contract that said, okay, it works for this, but we're not done with that. And we actually, I think, have a meeting, it could be as soon as tomorrow, to start to continue to work on the maps, closing down what the appropriate amounts are to charge. And certainly nobody should be charging to get into a public right away. Those restaurants can't do that. So that's a big mistake, and I'll make sure.
I don't think that they were trying to do that as much as they weren't making it clear that you didn't have to pay. It just seemed like you walked up and they said it's $10.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people,
Yeah.
and like I said, if I hadn't asked, I would have thought I had to pay. I know for Bastard Restaurant Bar, they said the raffle table was right in front of their storefront, so they felt like they were blocked. But the other message I got from all of them is, they want to work with us and they're excited. I mean, Golden Monkey opened 2 hours early. They brought in extra staff. They want to make it work.
Yes.
It's just, let's just,
Agree.
communicate as best as we can.
Absolutely. Yeah, we need to notify them as much as we want 3 months' notice. We need to give them months' notice so that they can prepare properly, start to get an estimate of time too, because I think one of the best things that we had in that grand opening was that helped their business, right? I stopped by to say, how did you do? And it was very good, but I can only imagine how that would have been maybe a whole different feeling if we had had food trucks right in front of their bar or somebody selling alcohol.
Well, and also having a price to get into.
Oh, yeah, you can't, I mean, that's absolutely, so I appreciate it, and thank you, and we will make sure, and even when we have drafted this, I think we should share it with those businesses in the entire area, so we can get their input, because nothing said, I mean, absolutely. We want it to be a positive thing for everyone, and we need to hear their concerns, so agree.
The only other question I had is, one of the businesses told me they had been introduced to the person who's working for the city running the ad, and I was just wondering, is that true? Do we have someone working on it? I hadn't heard that, so I just wanted to know.
No, there will be.
That's what I said. I said, was it someone who was just
Because he was at the birthday party.
okay, maybe it was just.
But that gentleman is because that job, so his job is to help us, just like, let's consider the LARA, right? We're trying to hire an event person. It's not a new position. We took a DPW position full-time. It's called facilities attendant 2 or something, right? So this person would say at the beginning of an event, meet the person renting the facility and say, do you have everything you need? Where are you? Here's my cell phone. Now, after they're all settled, then they're going to go and mow the lawn, or they're going to go and open the bathrooms in some of our other facilities, and then near the end of their shift, come back and say, remember, the toilets will be open in the fall. So imagine if the toilet's full or garbage is overflowing, then they call them and say, hey, garbage is completely stacked up. He's going to stop mowing lawns, come back, make sure that he's supporting that person renting his facility. Very much like the model is the same of our other facilities. We want to use this person also for LARAC to say to Phil at the beginning of the day, how you doing, right? And then be there at the end of the day. Did we clean everything up? Is everything ready? And so it's not a new person, but definitely not running it. The person who's managing all the applications is the mayor's assistant. So he manages all those, and that application is online. And we're now adding the edge to that. So it would be a list of, is it the bandstand at Crandall Park, or is it the bandstand here at City Park, or East Field, or, and so it's the same Havens Cove, right? Yep. And it is a little more than, there is one kind of facility rental that is different, and that is just for the plain pavilions. Let's say you're having a birthday party at East Field, and it's $75, and there's nothing more you need. This person would not be involved. We'd not be able to give us 3 months notice for that. That's more of a rec department thing. So we'll get you that.
So we just have shifted some responsibilities to an already existing DPW employee.
Yes,
That's all. Okay.
yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
No,
Yes.
I was wondering if you could give us an update on the watershed development. So I reached out to John Stroud, and I'm sure you've got follow-ups.
Yeah, absolutely. So, John and I, the last time that you had asked, we found from National Grid that those were fake signs, so National Grid is not signing that area. We had the water and sewer superintendent and several members of the board and myself and both superintendents of schools walked that area, and that's when we discovered the extensive nature of that thing. We also had, so John has a plan that was promoted by the Water and Sewer Commission back before I became mayor, and we're following up on that to follow up, see if we can still get grant money to pay for that, and that would move that walking path away from them. We need to take that out. We haven't taken it out yet because we don't want to cause more erosion in taking it out. We also don't feel like until we establish the other path that we don't want to force them further into the watershed, or also, the fact is that we believe the people are using this as much as it's completely illegal are some of the people that will help us. When you and I had that conversation, the people that are walking and hiking are some of the best people to keep an eye on, people illegally camping in a recreation area. So we haven't completely taken that out yet. We're trying to move forward on the plan that connects it with the rest. That's where we are, and we do have offers from the same people that made the Rush Ponds, Adirondack Bike, I'm going to get their name wrong, but Barbara is the head of it. She came to the Water and Sewer Commission.
Adirondack cycling enthusiasts.
Absolutely. So they're saying, as soon as you get ready to move on this, we can help you dismantle that one, move it up out of the way where erosion is a concern, and help it to follow the same, and maybe even then connect it with the Rush Pond, which is the one that they built with Tom Queensberry. Okay.
And just with regard to Michelle McFerrin, I reached out to the state police for a follow-up. I haven't heard anything from them. I find it like it was great that when we had the Amber over the weekend, the state police quickly came in and described the situation with that death, and it's very disheartening that we had this death in Glens Falls in March, and we still don't have any clarity from either the city police or from the state police or from the dispatch at Sheriff's Department.
So I am of the feeling that we do have clarity. We have had our police have made public comment. The only public comment they're going to make on the advice of council is inappropriate to discuss an active investigation where there's pending notice of claim. I'm concerned if you continue to discuss this publicly, knowing there's an active investigation in this notice of claim. I'd ask you to conduct yourself accordingly. You're welcome to call the chief and speak to him. Go and meet with him when it's convenient for the two of you. But he is only going to speak to you about the facts that he's said publicly and that he can continue to say publicly. And as far as the state police involved, it is the state police that have the final. There's a final report that is actually with the state police that is why this is an active investigation. We've worked on this case and all of our cases very closely with Warren County Sheriffs and the state police on this. So I appreciate it, but that is all I have to say about that matter. New business, Councilman Clark,
I have none.
Councilman Downey,
I have none.
Councilwoman Palmer,
I have none.
Councilman Lapp.
I have none.
I have none. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, wait, I apologize. I have one piece that on August 8th through the 10th, I will be out of town. Councilman Clark will be acting mayor. I leave on Friday and will return on Sunday morning. I wanted you all to be aware that it is under new business, and I appreciate that. So, sorry, thank you. I can't take a motion to adjourn. We have a public comment. We'll open it back up to public comment.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank the Common Council, the City Council, that's the thing. The City Council for their continued support of this project at the Tennis Club. So on behalf of the nonprofit charge to try to raise a lot of this money, I want to thank you guys for all the support you gave me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
And also, Doug, just to let you know that Bill Brenner has filled out an application for the sign, and then I'm trying to figure out how I submit that. It's a new thing for the
Queensbury, yeah.
mayor. How does the mayor submit
Thank
a
you so
sign
much.
application?
That makes it a little.
Right.
Okay, well, if you need help, let me know and I'll help out.
I think it's fine. It's just
Okay.
I've never done it before,
Okay.
so I want to make sure that across.
We have, yeah, I have it too.
We have the application.
Bob gave it to me last time. I have the application, proposed drawing, and the instructions. I think it just goes to the town of Queensbury
Okay.
and make a decision.
Yeah, he painted it, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, he brought it in, Bill.
Did he bring it in?
Yeah,
He's pretty proud of it, so, thank you guys.
And to go in the same spot where it went.
Yeah, right on the same standard, that should
Yeah.
go perfectly.
The only thing I know, there was some dimensions missing on the application.
So we'll get that.
Take care of that. The height.
Yeah, okay.
It said how wide but when you mount it on the post, how
Okay.
high is the top?
Yeah,
I think that was missing.
I got
That's
it.
all. And we'll talk about it.
Okay,
All right.
Thank you.
thanks, thanks again.
Thanks. Not hearing any other public comment, do we have